This is a story of how I have started and scaled a seven-figure Amazon business within 20 months and made a successful exit of seven figures. Over the last few years, a lot of media outlets have told my story, including Amazon, China News Asia, Straits Times, a lot of podcasts around the world. But I have never had the chance of telling my own story. So I figured, what the heck? Today is the time. My name's Crystal, and I was born and raised in China. When I was 20 years old, I decided that I wanted to go to North America. So with a little English, I went to Canada. I had two luggages, no money, and I knew nobody in Canada other than one person. The first day I arrived in my condo, in my room had no door. And that's how I started. 6 years forward, I was working in a management consulting firm, one of the big fours. I wanted to prove something to the world. It doesn't really matter whether, I'm Asian and I'm foreign and English is not my first language. I can do this. I didn't really go party. I just studied and I worked. I think I did 5-6 internships. I finished 2 levels of CFA Chartered Financial Analyst exam within 2 years. At the age of 25, I bought myself a house. I had a car. I was basically adulting. However, there's still something missing in me, which is that I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to do my own thing. I didn't know what that was, but I just wanted to do it. As a foreigner, you have a lot of limitation because I was on a visa and I couldn't really start my business without a gainful employment. So for many years, I was just working away. I decided that, hey, maybe I should further my education before I start this business because that's just, what everybody else is doing. I decided to apply for a business school. Finally got into one of the top business schools in the world. It's called INSEAD. They're a French school, have campus in France, San Francisco, Singapore, and Abu Dhabi. So I decided to go to Singapore because I had never been to Singapore. I heard, it was an amazing country and I'm Asian, so I was missing home. Unfortunately, I given in to my fear. Everybody else was, looking for a job in banking, in consulting. So I thought, maybe I should do that. Eventually, I got into one of the top management consulting firms in the world. And I was specializing in TMP, which is technology, tech, and media. Well, I was not interested in any of that. But for the title, for the prestige, and for the money, it was decent pay, 6 figures. I decided to stay. However, it was a grind because I was constantly working 80 hours a week. I was traveling a town every week. I think I was on 100 flights a year for about 2 years. And what was worse was that I constantly went to those countries where, for religious and for cultural reasons, they didn't necessarily respect women, especially in her careers, and won't even shake my hand. They didn't acknowledge my work. They didn't want to talk to me. They didn't want to look at me. I was just this girl who's putting up presentations together. So that was not necessarily a great life. I was so burnt out. By the end of 2019, I was in therapy. I couldn't even hang out with my friends because I was just in this dark hole. I was so depressed. I was so overworked. I was so stressed. It was not a very good situation. But it was a sign from the universe that, hey, you said that you're going to do this business thing and you never did it. So you now need to do this because now you have no choice. I basically jumped into this with my 2 feet. I started a business partnership that didn't go anywhere. I initially wanted to do something related to travel because that was my passion. COVID was going to happen in a few months. So it was good that I didn't end up pursuing that. And a friend of mine one day just told me that there was this Amazon thing. If you're interested in it, I knew that you like consumer goods. Why don't you just give it a go? What do you have to lose? I was one person. I didn't have a team. I didn't have a business partner. But I went to YouTube and I found some YouTube tutorials about Amazon. I decided this is what I wanted to do. So I watched all those videos. I bought a few online courses and I started to make products. So by early 2020, I launched my first product, which was a simple LED light. That didn't go anywhere. It failed. I lost a few $1,000s. At the time, I decided that I wanted to put all my saving in it. So I left myself with nothing. I was working a part-time job just so that I could support myself. I decided that even though the first product didn't work out, I wanted to give it a shot again. So I started to launch a second product, which was in home decor. It exploded the first month. I believe I probably made $10,000 the first month. I was so happy. However, just after a month, my account got deactivated for no reason. I was so depressed. I lost all my sales. My account was locked. I needed to be on the call with seller support for days, try to figure out the situation. However, I need to keep going because clearly this thing had potential. So from $10,000 a month, I grew to $50,000 a month, and eventually I grew to over $200,000 a month. In the first year, I eventually achieved 7 figures in sales just in the first year. After 12 months into I first launched my home decor product, I got an offer from a buyer, a company that want to buy my brand. And eventually, after about a year and a half, 2 years, I sold my company to a company in the US. And honestly, the journey was full of ups and downs. I found myself in my deepest depression and I was so scared so many times. I didn't know anything about managing a team. I needed to build a team from scratch. I needed to figure out all the systems and operations. And frankly, I was just one person with a team of people. It was very scary at times, but honestly, it was so great as well. It's so rewarding because it gave me an outlet to express myself and also my creativity. I still remember one of my customers, actually a few of them, they were cancer patients and they bought my products because they thought that it could give them warmth. And that was their treat for themselves after they have gone through chemotherapy. And it really just warmed my heart to know that my creation had touched so many people's life and really give them the warmth. And that was what I wanted to start my brand to begin with. I found the journey itself extremely rewarding. And the following year, which is last year, I started another brand that instantaneously grew to 6 figures. I was given opportunities to speak in tens of occasions, internationally, locally here in Singapore, just to motivate and empower other entrepreneurs, small business owners to do the same thing. I could see how much potential there is in all of us. I believe the real purpose of success isn't necessarily the prestige of a job or like the money they pay you or how good it makes you look. None of those things. The real success that one person can ever have is a career that is so fulfilling that it's your calling and you're generating the impact that you want to see in the world. Does it really matter how much money you're making or how prestigious the job is? If you feel empty inside and if you feel like it's not giving you any meaning or reason to get out of your bed every day, it is not success. You know that. Deep in your heart, you are yearning for something more. And you will always have that yearning if you don't take the action. So now let me challenge you. What is that one thing that you always wanted to do? What is that one thing that if you have $1 million tomorrow, if you don't need to worry about money anymore, what is that one thing you want to do? Please type that in the comment below. If you like my video, please hit the like button. Please subscribe. I will have more content in the future. I'm really looking forward to share all my knowledge with you guys and see you next time.